The dude that was messing with him bit off more than he can chew. And, you got to be careful, one, who you mess with, and two, what kind of example are you as a veteran for inciting a ride with a kid? And he's not 12 or nothing, but he's still significantly younger.
End of discussion. You are a dumb animal that does not belong in society. You have forfeited that right because you have proven yourself as an unevolved human. Go sit in a cage for 30 to 40 years where you f***ing belong, you dumb animal. End of discussion.
It's not going to go the way you want it to go, and he should have handled it a different way. I hope that him and his family are able to cope and be able to find a solution for everything. And obviously Syko Stu is a little bit better because everybody's kind of worried, but it's unfortunate that it happened, and hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, no, those are full on, like, I'm beating those were brutal. Yeah. Oh, I did see the guy hit him over the head with the can, but if the guy thought that was part of I don't know, you can't hurt people.
Syko Stu has finally broken his silence from the hospital following the altercation with Raja Jackson. A family member shared an update on his behalf, letting fans know that Stu is awake, aware, and remembers parts of what happened on the day of the incident. The message thanked everyone for the overwhelming support, explaining that it's been difficult to respond to everyone individually, and that a donation page will be set up soon for those who wish to help. For now, Stu is resting and deeply appreciative of all the love being shown his way. At the same time, Mark Henry caught fans off guard by partially defending Raja Jackson and shifting some responsibility back onto Stu. Henry admitted he's never been a fan of excessive teasing or constant joking, saying that if someone crossed those lines with him, they'd usually get checked. While he made it clear he doesn't know the full details, Henry suggested Stu may have mishandled the situation and found himself in deeper trouble than expected. He added that people should be cautious about who they push and question the example a veteran sets by provoking someone much younger.
I didn't like the ribbing. I didn't like the joking. And anybody that talked to me that I didn't think was worthy of having that kind of aggressive conversation, they got that work. And, I don't know the full story, but I do know what I saw. And it looked like he wasn't smart to what was going on. And the dude that was messing with him bit off more than he can chew. And, you got to be careful, one, who you mess with, and two, what kind of example are you as a veteran for inciting a ride with a kid? He's not 12 or nothing, but he's still significantly younger. And, you want to make sure that everybody...
Tony Ferguson has now weighed in on the Raja Jackson incident, saying he was stunned by the attack and feels it could have been avoided. He criticized influencers and media figures for fueling drama that ends up misleading young people and pushing them toward the wrong path. Ferguson encouraged kids to look for guidance and healthier outlets instead of turning to violence. While expressing sympathy for Raja and his family, he also shared relief that Syko Stu is on the mend, emphasizing that incidents like this should never be repeated.
My reaction was just like everybody else's, is kind of shocked at that, but I think that it could have been prevented. I think assholes like people, influencers, YouTubers, or everything else that put too much hype and they try to build some shit up and they put these ideas in kids' heads and they're not fucking saying, hey, reach out and and be like, it's okay. They're making it worse by trying to do the same shit by sticking mics in their face and doing this kind of stuff, where as some people know how to handle situations and some people don't. And unfortunately, it went a different way. And all you youngsters out there, that's not the right way to do it. That's just not how you do it. If you do have an issue with something like that, go talk to somebody. I know it's kind of seems like the pussy thing to do, but damn, go find a way to vent, because that stuff is just like a boiling pot. It's not gonna go the way you want it to go. And he should have handled it a different way. I hope that him and his family are able to cope and be able to find a solution for everything. And obviously Syko Stu is a little bit better because everybody's kind of worried, but you know, it's unfortunate that it happened, and hopefully it doesn't happen.
Josh Thompson also shared his perspective on the situation, saying the real sympathy should go to Quinton Jackson rather than Raja. He pointed out that Quinton is an innocent father who loves his son but is now forced to watch him make destructive choices. Thompson described it as heartbreaking to see a parent face something this heavy, especially when it's clear it's the last thing Quinton would have ever wanted for his child.
But the problem is this. You're looking at it and people are, they're trying to give some type of, you know, forgiveness because it's Quinton, not because it's Raja, because it's Quinton. It's Quinton Jackson that is the person that you've got to feel sorry for, okay? In the fact that, you know, he's hooked up in this when he's not the one that took part in this. And that's a sad thing because he's a father and he loves his son. And it's sad to see someone go through something of this magnitude when it's the last thing in the world you would have told your son to go through with.
Big John McCarthy also broke down AJ Mana's involvement in the situation leading up to the attack. According to McCarthy, before things escalated, wrestler AJ Mana was in the background encouraging Raja Jackson, pumping him up and telling him to get payback for what happened in the ring. McCarthy explained that in pro wrestling, a receipt usually just means giving back a single shot after taking a cheap one. But in this case, that encouragement only added fuel to Raja's decision to take things further.
There's the other wrestler. What's the other wrestler? AJ Mana. This guy is basically in the back telling him, hey, he smashed the can over your head. Go out there and get your receipts. Go out there and, you know, get him back. And then, so he's kind of getting Raja hyped up, kind of getting him to realize, yeah, you know what that means, right? Go out there and get it. You get yours. Now, I know that when we talk about, you know, get your receipts, you know, go out there and get yours, like isn't get it back. Get the shot back that he laid down.
One shot. That's what a receipt is. You got a cheap shot?
Doug Malawa also pointed a finger at AJ Mana for escalating the situation with Raja Jackson. He argued that the assault was fueled not only by Raja's personal struggles with his father, but also by AJ's influence. While Malawa didn't excuse Raja's actions, he put greater blame on AJ for hyping him up and pushing him toward violence. According to Malawa, AJ essentially used Raja to settle his own issues, knowing there was already tension with the victim. He added that AJ has a history of avoiding real confrontations, often losing in small backyard scuffles, yet pressured Raja, who had been trained by one of the sport's best, to carry out the attack.
The culmination between his dad picking on him and all his daddy issues came out and all the shit that AJ gassed up into his head, because let me put it this way. I don't like Raja. I think Raja's a shit person for what he did. But I think AJ's a bigger person for gassing him up to be in that fucking ring, to leading him to ruin his own fucking life, to hurt somebody that AJ also has a fucking problem with. You can't fucking tell me that's not, I don't believe in coincidence.
He was basically trying to put the blood on someone else's hands.
Exactly, because he's not going to do it himself. Mm-hmm. You know, the few little backyard fights he fucking got in where he got beat the fuck up, and then you got somebody that's a real fighter, trained by somebody that was one of the greatest of all time, and then you had him do your dirty work. He ruined two people's lives.
AJ Mana has since defended himself against the backlash surrounding the Raja Jackson incident. Sharing his side of the story, Mana insisted that his words were being twisted. He claimed all he told Raja was to give a receipt, and denied urging him to go any further than that. Mana said the situation has unfairly damaged his reputation, stressing that he can't be held accountable for the choices of another grown man.
Before y'all judge me any further, just please let me explain. Ready? That's a receipt. That's all the told Raja to do. Now my life is ruined over your lie. I am not responsible for what another grown man decides to do.
On the other hand, Rampage Jackson used his first live stream since the incident to call out MMA Guru, accusing him of racism. Rampage criticized Guru for crossing the line, saying that in 2025, nobody wants to hear racially charged comments about someone's child, especially from someone who presents themselves as a journalist. While Rampage admitted that mistakes can happen, he stressed that no situation should ever be twisted into a race issue.
It's a lot of like ignorant people on the internet. I understand that. You know, it is what it is. The shit don't affect me, don't bother me, but people like MMA Guru, you know what I'm saying? That guy is supposed to be some kind of journalist, and his racism came out. His racism showing. You know what I'm saying? It's 2025. Like, you know what I'm saying? People do as well. Some people do. They shouldn't get turned into race. Nobody wants to hear a bunch of racist shit about their son, no matter what race they are. He must don't have kids.
Rampage Jackson went on to say that MMA Guru crossed a line by letting racist undertones slip into his commentary. Having grown up around that kind of language, Rampage said he spotted it right away. Normally, he ignores random comments online. But when someone with a platform like Guru uses that kind of rhetoric, he believes it's different. Rampage stressed that anyone with an audience has a duty to remain professional. And now fans are left questioning whether Guru's takes on black fighters are clouded by bias.
I don't want to repeat what he said, but he said a whole bunch of. He said, like, he showed his racism, basically, what he did. Like, I'm from the South. The stuff he said, only racist people say. A lot of racist people came forward and said stuff and DM me racist. It don't bother me, because I don't care about racist people. But MMA Guru, he has a platform.
Yeah.
And he should say neutral, because he's giving his opinions on fights and stuff like that. So now people gonna be watching him when black fighters fight, and he say,
yikes.
MMA Guru has since fired back at Rampage Jackson's criticism. He questioned why Rampage chose to go live so soon after Raja's incident, arguably one of the most serious moments of his son's life. Guru pointed out the contrast, noting that while Raja may be staring down major legal consequences, Rampage was on live stream reading chat messages, giving opinions, and calling people out instead of focusing fully on the situation at hand.
Just a few days after Raja Jackson had this situation, that's probably the most stressful time in his life, deserved, by the way, the deserved most stressful time of his life, where he's probably sitting at home right now, scared to death that he's going to get decades in prison. During that moment, right now, his father, Rampage Jackson, is dating on stream and bowling with them while reading dono messages about the entire situation and giving his thoughts on it and calling people out.
MMA Guru went on to explain that by the time he first came across the clip, it had already gone viral, and after he reposted it, the footage spread even further, racking up millions of views. Describing his reaction, Guru said Raja acted like someone with no self-control, continuing to attack an opponent who was already unconscious. He argued that behavior like that goes far beyond what's acceptable in combat sports and insisted Raja should face serious consequences for his actions.
I woke up that morning, I got sent a video of Raja Jackson attempting to murder someone, telling me, what do I think about this? Okay? So I go on Twitter, I'm like, what? It's viral everywhere. Raja Jackson did this. It's not yet. I think it had like 700,000 views when I first retweeted this. This now has 75,000 likes, 11 million views on my quote tweet of it alone. Okay? So it then took off to crazy lengths. I saw that video and people said, what's your thoughts on it? I don't then think, oh, I gotta watch and think about what Rampage would think about me saying this. Not for 1 second does that ever cross my mind. Guru, check out this video. What do you think? That's an attempted murderer. I post it, yeah. I say, that's a dumb animal with no impulse control, bro. He has no impulse control. He's a dumb animal. He saw an unconscious man on the ground. He went to follow up 20 odd shots to trying to kill him. He's not like the rest of us. I would never do that. 99% of humans would never do that. Raja Jackson would. Put him in a jail. Put him in a...
Tim Welsh also weighed in on the controversy, pointing out that even though Rampage Jackson's son likely has strong legal backing, the assault could still fall under attempted murder. He highlighted the dangers of street fights, stressing that striking someone who's already unconscious can be fatal and lead to prison time. Welsh called the situation deeply troubling and admitted he'd be furious if the victim had been his own father. While noting that Syko Stu has regained consciousness, he cautioned that the overall circumstances remain very serious.
He's got money. I mean, they're going to have some good lawyers. But it might be attempted murder. I mean, God, that's the thing. You got to be careful getting in street fights. If you can avoid street fights, avoid them. Especially if you got a temper tantrum. Maybe if you know a little jiu-jitsu and you get in a street fight here and there, it's okay. You can take care of yourself, get in a good position. But once you crack somebody and then you start seeing red and you're not thinking about what you're doing and you're punching them and they're already knocked out, good chance you're going to kill them. And now you might be in the pen. So, I mean, that was if that guy was my dad or something, I would be furious. So, hopefully this guy comes out of it all right. They said he came to, and it's not looking good.
Syko Stu's friend Doug Malawa didn't hold back in his criticism of Raja Jackson, calling his mindset reckless and foolish. Malawa recalled stepping in to break up the scuffle in the ring when Raja suddenly went for a sloppy takedown and threw a punch that landed on his eye, despite Malawa not acting aggressively. He labeled Raja a young loser and a low-life clown for attacking a half-conscious opponent and even striking someone who was only trying to separate the fight. Malawa added that Raja was fortunate he had already been worn down from an earlier match, or things could have gone very differently.